today we're talking about blockchain and Bitcoin. A lot of hype in the industry. There's some really cold, hard realities in blockchain and Bitcoin, but there's also a ton of hype. What's real? What's not real? What's sort of real? What's gonna be real? What is a scam? So hopefully today we'll talk a little bit about the actual realities of what the technology could enable, why people are afraid, and some practical considerations to engage in emerging technologies. But there's fear. There's a lot of fear, and for good reason. This is coming. Has anybody seen the movie It? Or read the book It? This is Pennywise the Clown. Pennywise the Clown attracts children into the sewers, and then he eats them. He devours them. He turns them into monsters. This is kind of like Bitcoin. Once you get bit by the Bitcoin and blockchain bug, your life has changed forever. It sucks you in and doesn't let you out. But there's a lot of fear. There's a lot of fear in the marketplace because it is scary. And what's scary is the rise of emerging technologies. Blockchain is just but a piece of what's happening in the ecosystem today, right? You just heard a presentation on drones. What about artificial intelligence, decentralized anonymous systems, pure robotic automation of everything? What happens when these drones start to communicate with one another in a decentralized autonomous fashion? What happens if we have complete automated, autonomous, decentralized robot societies, robot communities? There's a lot of talk about IoT in the blockchain, IoT and security. All the big companies say we might have 50 billion devices connected by 2020. They're wrong. There's a company here in the room today that's saying it's going to be 100 billion in the next couple of years. 100 billion connected devices. What happens when they talk? What happens when they can actually transact with one another? It changes everything. It changes how we operate. It changes supply chains. It changes manufacturing. It changes financial services. It changes everything. It's happening today. So there's always a path of innovation that happens, particularly with emerging technologies. And this has been very consistent throughout modern times. All of these companies, some old ones that are no longer with us, some new ones, but they all faced a serious threat, although they did not deem it to be a serious threat. They thought the technology that they were looking at was inferior. It didn't feel right. It doesn't have all the bells and whistles that my technology have. IBM did this against Microsoft. Microsoft was a challenger. IBM was the big boy. Microsoft products sucked. Some would say they still do, but in this time, in this competing on the PC era, they challenged IBM. IBM thought they were inferior. The product didn't feel right. As did Blockbuster with Netflix, perhaps Oracle, or Amazon Web Services with decentralized storage. Because the pace at which emerging technology starts to mature, in which it starts to get better, is at a far greater magnitude than legacy companies, legacy tech, and legacy bureaucracy can adapt to.